Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, and today I am thrilled to have our Meet Our Member video with Comcast Business and Mary Beth Pierce, who's the Executive Director of Enterprise Sales. And they are a global industry partner, and this is a session that is long overdue because you've actually been a partner for a while. So welcome, Mary Beth.
Thanks, Rob. It's good to be here. Agreed. Long overdue.
So if you offer all these integrations and partnerships that are there, is a person able to also purchase those integrations and partnerships through you as a single place to purchase it, or do they have to go individually and then you pull it together under the managed service?
So from I would say it depends. It depends on the exact partnership, but for the hardware, right? If a customer is looking to implement and new security protocols, new Wi-Fi, go on the digital transformation journey that we've seen so many people taking over the past several years, we will design a solution that best meets the technical needs. We partner with some of the largest hardware companies, out there, but we are hardware agnostic. We will recommend what we believe is best for both the technical requirements and the budget within the scope of the project. Comcast is one of the largest global network providers of Meraki services. We are a large partner of Fortinet, just recently won their Partner of the Year MSSP award last week. We also partner very closely with Juniper, HP Aruba, Mist APs. And so all of that to say, the customer doesn't have to own and manage those relationships. We will do that on behalf of them.
And everybody knows nobody throws out all their systems overnight either. So you are able to, I think you've pointed out the nuance there that you're able to take over, an existing tech stack, and then manage that as well. It's not all or nothing, but if they want to go ahead and build, you have the consultants and people to build it as well. And especially if you're going to add in the global piece of it, look at how many chains are going global, much faster than they ever did before. And if they don't have to worry about how they bring it all together, that's one less thing. They can focus on their operations, their menu, their labor, and not necessarily on the tech piece.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, right? We're seeing with so much relying on the technology in the restaurant now, we see the need to be able to offload that from the operators, the franchisors, let them focus on what's coming next, focus on solving the labor challenges. And we have some ideas on technology that can help with that, but let us manage the network day to day and you focus on running the restaurants and serving the clients.
So not to get off on a tangent on this, but I'm also of the understanding that, Comcast Business, besides the acquisition that you just talked about, that's global on the services piece, which actually makes some sense. You actually have other businesses that people aren't necessarily aware about in the portfolio, like Machine Q, which, connecting the devices actually to be able to communicate. So you actually go down further than just technology play in there, but are there other things like Machine Q out there that are also in the portfolio that you can bring together?
Yes, we have, obviously Comcast is an incredibly large organization and we try to bring the entire ecosystem of companies to the table when working with our clients. So you mentioned Machine Q, it's a great example. Machine Q is a Comcast company, started within Comcast, and it's focused on providing IoT over LoRaWAN. And it's really about helping restaurants automate the mundane so that the labor that you do have in the restaurants can focus on serving clients and running the restaurant and not doing simple tasks like temperature checks or bathroom checks, is the trash full, things like that. We also have a company called Comcast Smart Solutions. This is a really exciting one. It came out of what we previously called Smart Cities. And so we have solutions within this company that can meet digital menu board needs, smart lighting. And so there's a whole new initiative around the digital menu boards, which we know we're seeing a massive trend on both, front of house on the customer facing menus and back of house on the kitchen display systems in the restaurant space.
So you're talking about the hardware and the network that runs it, or are you also talking about things like the content management, that's needed behind it?
Yeah, on the smart solutions, more so on the hardware. But then, when you speak about content, obviously Comcast owns NBC and Universal. And this brings in a really exciting piece of the conversation. So we bring NBC and Universal to the table a lot and brainstorm ideas on how to leverage, how can we help create content unique to a restaurant brand? Or how can we leverage some of our assets like the Minions or, the new Jurassic World movie? How can we leverage those assets to help drive messaging for a restaurant? And so we bring
I think
all
that
of
people
those
don't
ideas.
realize that, that you have, those other types of things. In some ways, you have your own test bed, within your own company. A place like Universal Studios, I mean, has hotels, it has restaurants, it has retail, and it really allows you to bring that expertise in. But also within Comcast Business, I understand that you are focused on industry verticals as well. While you may have hospitality and food service, what are the other major industry verticals? Because we find that people are they could take Comcast Business's expertise in other verticals, which means you are actually bringing new knowledge to them through your collective knowledge. So what are the other major verticals that you work in?
Yeah. So, like you said, I focus on hospitality and restaurant. My peers focus on finance. So obviously all the large banking companies across the US, our media vertical focused on providing, the connectivity and the networks needed to push the content out that we all enjoy on our TVs at home. And then we have retail and convenience store vertical focus.
Retail and convenience store, huge crossover.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. I think we see a lot of trends. We see a lot of trends in one vertical start to then show up in the other. And so to your point, it's a learnings across all verticals that we then bring to our customers in network planning.
Well, let me just ask you a question about that, because, C-store is a very big area right now, and a lot of C-stores have partnerships with restaurants.
Yeah.
So how does that work when you're working with a restaurant brand who is in fact also working with the large C-store brand, where you do the consolidated expertise? Because obviously there's some things used in C-stores that are not used in restaurants and vice versa. So how do you show the power of Comcast Business when you're working across shared verticals?
No, it's a good question, Rob. I mean, I think honestly, in some cases we've seen, we design a shared network, right? So if you have a restaurant inside of a gas station or a restaurant inside of a C-store, what we do is we come to the table and say, okay, how can we build this shared network that is secure for both brands, but provides technical efficiencies and cost savings to the end customer, so that they don't have two disparate networks running in a shared space. And we're starting to see that obviously more and more with groceries opening restaurants, C-stores opening restaurants opening C-stores. It's the worlds are colliding for sure.
Right. Let me be clear about a takeaway early on. Just want to show you I'm paying attention to what you're saying here. If I heard you correctly, I think you said you had 8 of the top 10 or 15 QSR brands. Was that right?
12 of the 15 QSR, 8 fast casual.
Okay, great. Well, on QSR, if you have 12 of the top 15, those are probably the same brands that are doing partnerships in grocery stores and doing partnerships in, the retail, like the Walmarts and people, and doing partnerships with C-stores. So that means that even if on the retail side, that is not your customer already on that side, you actually bring expertise. And if they happen to be on both sides, that's even better. But you make it easier for the big brands, that you're servicing to actually do those partnerships, because one of the biggest problems they have today is how do they integrate their systems?
Absolutely. Yep. And that is what we try to bring to the table. We're often saying we're bringing two companies together to say, hey, we're already working with both of you. Let's all sit down together and figure out how we do this most efficiently.
This has been a real pleasure as the IFPTA to not do a new member video, but to do a member video of Comcast Business, our global industry partner member. And it's been a pleasure having Mary Beth Pierce, the Executive Director of Enterprise Sales, with us today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate the time and the partnership as always.